Let Century Management Solutions get you to your next medical appointment. They specialize in non-emergency medical transportation, connecting patients to care, safety, reliability, and on time. Their advanced technology platform seamlessly coordinates patients, healthcare providers, insurers, and transportation partners all in one powerful network. With over 200 trusted transportation providers, they deliver scalable solutions backed by real-time tracking and complete transparency. Go to SENTRYMS.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Miranda, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. I'm well, thank you. Yes, I'm glad you didn't play Midnight Oil because they're massive lefties.
That's true. They are massive lefties. We're aware of that now. We never cared about that before, but now we're starting to. We actually have a banned list on this show, Miranda. You can't make it up. Folks, we're not going to play anymore, from Bruce Springsteen to Eric Clapton to Midnight Oil to Pink Floyd. So you did a great job with
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, they're he's the worst of all, Roger Waters. You kidding me? That's a great job you did there with President Trump. Just a great job. And, I know he loves you. And for folks that don't know, he really does love Miranda. You guys have a great relationship, and he was very honest about that conversation that he did tell Bibi he's effing crazy. He did also say in the conversation, which kind of bothered me just a little, this is why the world hates Israel. This is why the world hates you. That didn't come up in your conversation with Trump. I'm not sure that needed to come up between Trump and Bibi, but that was part of that conversation too. You know that, right?
Well, I did read that, but remember the reports of it were from two sources. Now, I don't know who those sources were, but if it wasn't Donald Trump himself, then they were paraphrased. So maybe, the rest of it seemed to be accurate, or those three things that I asked him, which were pretty explosive, calling the Prime Minister of Israel effing crazy and what are you effing doing? And I got you out of jail. Right. I mean, they're pretty, but Donald Trump, who, by the way, absolutely adores you.
Thank you.
You know what he's like. I mean, he says things that maybe other people couldn't get away with because it's the tone of voice. And between two friends, he said, we're very good friends. We've worked well together. Benjamin Netanyahu agrees. But Donald Trump is trying to do these deals and for America. And Bibi Netanyahu is trying to protect Israel from Hezbollah rockets.
Hold on. I'm glad you said that. And this is the big difference. I'm glad you said that. Because the truth is, Miranda, we're not in danger here in Manhattan or Cincinnati or Sacramento or Cheyenne. We go after Iran. We didn't start it. Sorry, folks, we didn't start it, but we're going to finish it, hopefully, one day. But Israel gets bombed every time somebody else does something, including the United States. So Trump and Bibi, it's not exactly the same situation. We're in the middle of saying that the ceasefire is still on. All we're doing is defending ourselves. Well, I got news for you. It's the same situation with Bibi and Israel, with Lebanon and Hezbollah. And the difference is they're getting the rockets. We're not. So I love Trump. I love him. I adore him. He's my favorite. But Bibi is in a much different place than Trump. Trump has to understand that.
100%. And he does understand it. I mean, later on in the interview, he said, that he went into Iran because they can't let them have a nuclear weapon, obviously. And then he said that pertains to Israel because they probably would have been the first ones to get hit. Yep. There would be no Israel right now if it wasn't for Trump. Now, that's probably hyperbole, but he's absolutely right. And he understands that Israel is under an existential threat. And he is doing this for optics, obviously, because he's trying to tell the Arabs, including not Iran alone, but the Gulf Arabs that are our supposed allies. And he's saying, look, I am telling Israel not to go after Lebanon because Iran is paying its proxy, Hezbollah, to attack Israel. And then it says to America, stop Israel from attacking Lebanon. It's not Lebanon, it's Hezbollah.
Right.
And it seems to me that the Lebanese government has been quite content to allow Israel to get rid of the monster in its midst that it doesn't like, but has been too gutless to do anything about.
Oh, you just nailed it. That was beautifully said. Miranda Devine, the best columnist in the country, New York Post, and her Pot Force One podcast is doing amazing. She had Trump on just a couple of days ago. In fact, I'm going to Israel 2 weeks from today. It'll be my 5th trip since the war started back in 2023. Literally 2 weeks from today, I'll be heading back for 8 days to Israel. Yeah, it's a big deal. They've got this huge international policy summit. It's a 3-day summit and a bunch of speakers. You may have heard of some of these people: Mark Levin, Bibi Netanyahu, Mike Huckabee, Sid Rosenberg. So it is, it's huge. And it's at the Waldorf Astoria in Jerusalem, and I can't wait to go 2 weeks from today. But what are your thoughts on the whole Iran conflict? Again, I don't have to keep saying it, how much you and I love Trump, but I understand America's frustration, and I'm not really seeing a lot of answers about the exit. I was thrilled we went in. I was with President Trump 1,000%. I think we had to do it. We have to make sure these animals don't have a nuclear weapon. My issue is, the longer I watch this, I'm not sure we really ever had a real exit plan. I mean, there's no way that you could have told me that we'd allowed this to happen with the Strait of Hormuz. And the truth is, there's no way to get to that uranium unless we put troops on the ground, because it's embedded inside mountains in Iran. So what I'm trying to say is, Miranda, no matter what the president says, this is a mess. It's very messy, and I don't think we did a good enough job of figuring out the exit as we did going in. What do you think about that?
I don't know enough to know if that's correct. We're just observing, and there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on deliberately by Trump. And in fact, I asked him, because I agree with you. I mean, Americans are looking at this and feeling anxious because gas prices seem to be stubbornly up while Iran is going on. There doesn't seem to be any end in sight. We know the midterms are coming up, and this is going to hurt Republican chances, which is going to totally derail President Trump's agenda, which he's barely been able to get started on. Inflation is not great. And it was all going in the right direction. Yep. And the year was mapped out with all the 250 celebrations to have everyone in a great mood by the time the midterms came. No one's in a great mood. The Democrats are in disarray, but they're also doing a great job of sort of, just basically trashing the 250 celebrations. But President Trump said to me, I asked him about that, and I said, all the waxing and waning, and people don't know what's going on, and, are you trying to keep the Iranians off balance? But what about people at home that feel confused and anxious? He said, confused? It's good. It's good if they're confused, because then the Iranians are confused. So he's willing to endure this kind of short-term hit in the polls, people not trusting him. He said the other day, he did a Truth Social saying, trust me. And I've got to say, when I saw him on Tuesday for an hour, I sat, right opposite him. He seems as focused, as sharp, as confident as ever. I didn't detect any kind of lack of energy, any dispiritedness, anything like that. So I think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I just saw him. I wasn't sitting one-on-one with him, although he did have a nice handshake and personal moment, whispered in each other's ears at Mike Lawler's event in Rockland County about 2 weeks ago. And I saw the same thing. He spoke for like 75 minutes. He's funny as can be with Jackson Dart of the Giants and all kinds of jokes. And when he had to be serious, like with Sheridan Gorman's family, he was. By the way, her mom made me cry. He was just great. No. And I thought he looked great. So, and I read your column, which you folks must read, Miranda Devine. The Dems launch more fake rumors about Trump's health, but the president is at the top of his game. So as we're discussing, we've both been in his presence very recently, and he sounded and looked great. Why are the Democrats lying about his health, and no matter what he tells them or the doctors tell them, they still go back on the air and say he's in bad shape, but he's not.
Well, it's all they have. Yesterday, he did a full press conference in the Oval Office. He is the most available president, and from the party of Joe Biden that just lied and gaslit the American people for 4 years about Joe Biden's cognitive decline, it's astonishing. It's such blatant projection of their own sins onto their opponents that I think everyone sees through it, because only wish casting says that there's something wrong with Donald Trump. He just released his latest health check. Aced the cognitive test, 30 out of 30. His cardiac health. I mean, he is so lucky. He's obviously genetically blessed, because it's not as if, he's a specimen of, athletic prowess or his diet. I mean, he loves Big Macs.
Right.
And his cardiac health is 14 years younger than his age. So whatever he's doing, the Democrats just obviously are desperate to try and pretend that he's senile or that he's had a stroke is the latest thing. And they're not just doing it with bots on social media. They had Ted Lieu out there squandering like a huge amount of time in that hearing with Marco Rubio. And Marco Rubio just socked them between the eyes.
Oh, he's the best.
Because he sees the president every day.
Yep.